Hello everybody, it's Dr. Freddie here today with our Dr. Freddie Said So episode, and we like to entertain questions from our various patients and those of you out there in social media land. And we had a great question recently from Katie, who is actually right here with us.
Hello.
Katie, what was your question about babies and picking them up?
Well, I found that I was getting some repetitive strain injuries through my upper back and chest, so it was how to manage picking up children as they get heavier, especially in their car seats, because that's usually when you're really having to maneuver the most and carry the most weight.
Yes, and Katie has been here with her two children, Charlotte and
Taylor.
How old is Taylor now?
She's 6 months.
Taylor's down here having a little nap right now. We're going to demonstrate her in a second, but in that time we've seen Katie through your pregnancy, right? So what did you notice through your pregnancy, and why did you come and see us to get chiropractic care during pregnancy?
Because your mobility is changing so much, like how you're carrying your weight is changing so much, your entire body is. So the more support you can get through that time, the better. After my first pregnancy as well, I also realized that the more fit you are and the better you take care of yourself going into your pregnancy, the better your delivery and recovery are. So already having a little one running around who is an absolute maniac, to keep up with her, I really felt like I had to be on top of my game. So it was important to keep things going.
Absolutely. And you used to be a dancer yourself when you were younger, and
Yes.
also teach dance, right? So Katie appreciates the value of movement and doing it naturally as well. So, but as fit as we can be, as well adjusted, carrying an extra child and baby and having another one is also going to be a challenge no matter what. So we want to make this as practical as possible. So we're going to have Katie demonstrate how she had been picking up Taylor in the car seat, and we're going to see if there's any modifications we can make so that we can help her and help you guys out there do it more safely. So
I had thought about lying about this, but I'm not going to. So this is what it looks like.
So how much does Taylor weigh right now, by the way?
She's about 15 pounds, and the car seat is 23 pounds, I believe.
Right.
So that's like a hefty amount of
That's right.
weight to be lifting.
So we're knocking over close to 40 pounds here, and she's only 6 months. So she's definitely got a solid chiropractic body from birth.
Yeah.
So show us how you had been doing it and how that was affecting you.
Well, I was going like this, scooping and lifting. And what I found with that is this entire arm would get almost a little nummy and tingling, and I'd get very sore in my chest. And sometimes I wouldn't even do it with just this one. I would have Charlotte on this side. So I've learned not to do both at the same time.
That's what we call them, super moms. However, super moms still have a limit. So that's definitely, it's great. I mean, I think the great thing with moms is we tend to sacrifice as parents our bodies for our children, which sounds awesome, but at the same time, we want to do it for a long time, right? And so that's the best example to set. So, definitely the one thing we want to know, as you know as a dancer, the most powerful thing you have are your legs. So although it's easier and probably quicker, and when you've got another child and you're picking up groceries and things, it's easy just to bend down really quickly, whether it's with your arm or with your hand to bend this way. Anytime your upper body is forward and you're flexing from the waist, that's putting your spine at risk. So we want to have a natural C-shaped curve in our lower backs as well as our necks. So we want to protect those curves as much as possible. So we want to keep our bodies centered as much as possible. The more we go forward, no matter what the reason is, whether it's tying our shoe or picking up our children, that is going to cause problems, if not in the short term, definitely in the long term. So the best way would be to bend down and squat, right? Everybody knows and loves and hates squats at the same time, but use the powerful leg muscles and our glutes and our legs, our quads and our hamstrings to get down to that position. And if anything, this is a good workout for moms, right, and dads, but bending down and then not bending over as much as bending, so you're really sitting down as if you could sit on a chair. Now, if some of you can't bend all that way yet because maybe you have a knee problem or you currently have a back problem, then you want to obviously try to put your body in position where you're at least bending forward as little as possible, even if it has to be like this in a half squat, right? But if you can bend down all the way, then use more powerful leg muscles, and either using your hands or both arms would be the better way than to lift straight up as opposed to bending forward, which is the weak position, right? Now the challenge is obviously you probably are right-handed.
Yes, I am.
So that's why Katie was picking her up with the right arm, because that's obviously her stronger arm. But then that'll just tend to promote more imbalances in your own body. And so we'd like to also hold with both hands if possible. If you have other things on you, then try to use a backpack if possible as opposed to a one-sided purse. And if you had to, like you did using your arms, just to change positions every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously the best way is to take breaks and do it for periods of time where you're not carrying it for too long. Luckily we do have strollers and things that this would go in. So, but the challenge is obviously when you're now getting to the car and we want to put baby into the car, that's really the challenge, and where we see a lot of people end up hurting themselves is because you're leaning into the car, putting your body in that compromised position.
Yeah.
So obviously we want to minimize how much that is. So if it means putting the car seat, if there's a position in the middle of the car where then you could put the baby just on the first empty seat, crawl in a little bit, and then put the car seat right into the position a little bit more in the center, that would be better. That way you're not leaning over for as much, because you'll actually be in the vehicle then helping them. But again, it depends on your vehicle, depends on the setup of the car seat. But at that age, it's definitely something you want to not just think of the baby, but think of your spine as well. All right?
Yeah.
So did you have any other questions, Katie, on lifting her?
Not really. It's got to the point now where I'm taking her out a lot more.
Yes.
Because she just is getting very hefty, but she's also more stable. Like, she's able to look around and hold herself up more. But yeah, the car seat is definitely the big challenge as far as putting strain on.
This is one of the hardest ages because they're not fully walking yet, but they're also not very light anymore either. So that's that challenge. Once eventually they can graduate to at least get, that's right, Taylor, walking, then we can take them along. At least it's less strain on your body.
Absolutely.
But again, you still have to watch leaning over and down to them. So I know moms and dads, you put your kids before anybody else like I do. But at the same time, you have to be there for your kids, and so you have to take care of yourselves first. And I'll end on that note, because a lot of parents often think that they would rather even take care of their kids than instead of themselves. But we're a family practice, and the reason we look at the whole family, nobody's more important than anybody else. If you've ever been on an airplane, and the announcement always is that if there's an emergency, the oxygen mask will fall down. But who do they tell you put the mask on first?
Yourselves.
Right, because if you don't help yourself first, you can't help your children or your spouse or the people that do need you, right? So that's awesome, Katie. Thanks for that question, and thanks for bringing Taylor in, and I'm sure we'll do another one when eventually she can walk.
Yeah, that'll
and
be
we'll
an
deal with some of
adventure.
those issues. So keep the questions coming, and if you have more questions, you can check us out on our website, chiropracticfirst.ca, and just email us through the Contact Us page, or check us out on Facebook or on our YouTube page, which is Chiropractic First Natural Health Group. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Taylor.